exhale after a couple of dicey moments at the end of that one. How you doing, everybody? Ooh, Knicks win another one. That's 4 games in a row. They definitely call that a winning streak. 112-99 to the Sacramento Kings, who, yes, they were missing De'Aaron Fox. I get it. The Knicks have played some teams this year that have been missing some guys. Tonight's not the night that I want to hear about it. This team, I double checked. I thought I was sure, and I went and double checked and looked back at all the game logs just to make certain of it. This team has won 4 in a row a bunch of times. Maybe I think like 6, 7 times over the last 9 years. They've only won more than 4 in a row once, and that was the 9 straight, obviously, in the 2020-21 season. Good fortune doesn't happen to this team that often. So I am just going to say at the outset, let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy the fact that we haven't lost a game since the Dallas debacle, which is a good point for me to transition. You know, I have to echo a similar sentiment because there's going to be, there's going to be a lot of conversation tonight about all sorts of things. We're going to talk about Julius. We're going to talk about good Julius. We're going to talk about not so good Julius. We're going to talk about Jalen Brunson. Most important thing to come out of tonight is I hope Jalen Brunson is okay. Someone, I forget who it was, landed badly on his ankle, and he immediately exited the game. The Knicks listed him as doubtful to return. Obviously, he immediately, was like signaled to the sideline. I got to come out. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the guys who are playing now. I'm sure we'll have another comment or two about some of the guys that are not playing now, some of the guys who may be playing pretty soon if Brunson can't go. We'll talk about RJ. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about Tibbs. We'll talk about everything. But let's just 4 in a row. Let's enjoy that. That's a nice thing. This team has now won more games than it has lost. That is a nice thing. Teams around the league are falling apart left and right. Teams that have first-round picks, multiple first-round picks, all of their first-round picks out the door in various trades, just not showing up to play, talking about trading this superstar, that superstar. We're sitting here at 14-13, playing, it really hit me. Like, they've played well recently. They played well against the Cavs. They played well against the Hawks. They certainly played well against the Hornets. I thought the way they came out and played this game in the first quarter and the tone that they set in their approach at both ends. And look, it was another game which they couldn't buy a basket from 3. I think, what did they finish the game with? Hitting 8 of 35 from 3. Think about that for a second. The Knicks hit 8 of 35 from 3, and they won this game going away. This was never, save for a couple, those last couple minutes were like, oh, they're going to get this one over the finish line. They won this one going away. It was never in doubt. And they shot 8 of 35 from deep. So, yeah, are there things to improve? Is it perfect? No. Again, we'll talk about the Randle stuff, but how they came out and how they've been coming out. But I think really tonight it solidified for me. Their approach at both ends, how intense the defense is. I mean, my Lord. There's a play here or there where you could complain about, like I tweeted out before, RJ missed a couple box outs, falling asleep on the defensive end. But it's gotten to the point now where it's when they make a mistake on the defensive end, like Hartenstein had a couple, plays early on against Sabonis where I didn't think he really gave it his all. But, those plays now, you are singling those plays out because they are so few and far between. Whereas a week ago or 8 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, God knows, that OKC game, which I saw with my own 2 eyes in Madison Square Garden, it was every possession, every other possession where it was just like, oh, which breakdown do I want to highlight on this possession? Which poor execution or substandard extra, there's just no extra effort, no nothing, no urgency, no nothing. And now they're defending every possession with, I would say, a fairly solid degree of urgency. So Look, I don't know what happened. I don't know if, again, we talked about the reasons why this might be after the last few games. I don't know, but I know what's happening. I know what I'm seeing. That's number one. Number two, what do you say about Julius Randle, man? It's funny because, like, in the halftime Zoom, shout out to all the KFS newsletter subscribers, shameless plug. The conversation inevitably turned to, like, my God, this is a guy who just had an easy 27 points in the first half. The way he has been playing offensively, certainly of late, and, like, arguably this year, but, like, definitely of late. That's I don't know, is it top 20 offensive guy in the sport? Is it a top 25 guy offensively in the sport? And if he's going to try like this on defense, it's like, okay, well, I mean, it goes without saying, dude is playing like an all-star tonight. He's been playing like an all-star all week. I feel actually bad for the ejection, because if he didn't get tossed, I think he would have been in the running for Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Maybe he still will be, but, and then that happens. Anyway, the conversation at halftime was like, do they still look to trade him? Like, what are they looking to trade him for? Like, do they want to try to get picks? Do they want to try to save him for the star trade that, they're inevitably going to try to make again? Like this, that, and the other thing. Go all the way down the list. And then he does something like that. And for anybody who missed it, maybe listening tomorrow, he thought he got fouled on a drive to the basket. Probably did get fouled. But he immediately gets called for two techs and gets tossed from the game. Like, tonight was Julius Randle in a nutshell. Tonight was absolutely Julius Randle in a nutshell, where it's like, when it's going good, you can't imagine living without the guy. And when he has a moment that shows you that he is just, when he gets in that 94 by 50 foot space, his emotional maturity, and I'm going to borrow Benji Ritholtz's term, his emotional maturity as a basketball player, it just, you feel like it's not where it needs to be for you to, as a franchise, as a roster, as a locker room, whatever, go like, all right, we're going to ride that dude. Like, he's our guy. We could trust him day in and day out. And that's the question about Julius Randle. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of conversation about it tonight, so I won't even say anything else because I don't really have anything else to say. I talked about Brunson. Let me be very clear, for as well as Brunson has been playing, for as nice as RJ Barrett, he's picked it up. I thought he had a nice game, a good game tonight. Not a nice game. He had a good game tonight. Some moments left to be desired, some not so great attempts around the rim. But again, considering especially where he was to start this season, nice game tonight. Good game. Even with him, even with the defensive identity, all that shit. If Jalen Brunson goes out for a sustained period of time, this team is, I'm sorry, they're nowhere. Like, even as he's been struggling, you could argue he is still the most important player on the court because he puts so much pressure on a defense. He makes such good decisions, even though I know he had a season high 5 turnovers tonight. He's been out of sorts of late, and you still feel so confident with him out there. And I don't want to see what this version of the Knicks looks like without him, because I'm enjoying the version that has him so much. I'm not saying they can't win games without him, but we could go back to our parlor game. Granted, that was before the Knicks started playing like this, about how many wins did the Knicks have this season without Jalen Brunson. I don't want to think about it because I hope he's back. That said, I have a fearless prediction about what's going to happen if they don't have him for the 2 Chicago games, which I probably already gave it away by teasing it. But other thoughts, the McBride, Grimes, Quickley. I just don't know what to say. It's so much, like, when these guys are out there, you just feel, and especially when Mitch is out there, you just feel like teams might score, but nobody's going to get anything easy. Just nothing easy. And nothing does come easy. I mean, this Kings team scored 99 points tonight. I know they didn't have De'Aaron Fox. That is their season low by, I believe, 5 points. This is one of the best offenses in basketball. They just went into Cleveland and beat a Cavs team. Granted, a Cavs team without Donovan Mitchell. Fair. But they beat the Cavs. They scored the last 18 points of that game. Took that game away from Cleveland. They had nothing tonight. And I think the Knicks let go of the rope a little bit late in this game to let the Kings scored, ended up scoring 19 in the fourth quarter, but they I maintain this could have been even better. That's how good defensively I think the Knicks played tonight. That's how good they've been playing defensively recently. Their defensive rating over the last 4 games is head and shoulders the best in the sport. And it's because I give most of the credit to those 3 perimeter defenders, but also to Mitchell Robinson, who I thought had a really nice game despite getting in foul trouble. Only played 19 minutes, but it was 19 impactful minutes. 4 offensive boards. It felt like he had more than that. He probably didn't get credit for a few that he should have gotten credit for. Sims and Hartenstein, we got another 2 minutes with those 2 guys together. I thought it was fine. I think it gives them some nice advantages. I don't know if it's going to work against every team. I don't know if it's going to work against any good teams, but they don't play one of those for a while. So we'll see what happens. And last but not least, and I'm sure this is going to come up in the post game, but in the super chats, but I want to bring it up now. Because Julius got, I was about to say expelled. Got suspended, if anything. Got sent home. He got sent home. His mom had to come pick him up. Because of that, RJ Barrett, 44 minutes. Give RJ Barrett credit. 44 minutes, man. 44 minutes. He played the 4 at the end of this game. Shout out Benji, tweeted it out. It really does make a lot of sense, RJ at the 4, because I think he's big enough that you're like, obviously he's not the tallest guy, but I think he's big enough where you're going to be able to be okay with the downgrade in a few inches, right? Because he's the size of a 4, like physically he's the size of a 4, even though he's a little bit short. And then it allows you to get all that speed on the perimeter, which is nice at both ends. Defensively, it's obvious. Whether it's Brunson, and 2 of the perimeter players, or it's Deuce and 2 of the perimeter players, or Brunson, Deuce, and Grimes or Quickley, whatever. Yeah, you're a little small, but on offense, it's just a bunch of guys who very quickly can, no pun intended, put the ball on the floor, make quick decisions, make shots. Even though I thought Quickley probably was a little hesitant tonight. He's been a little hesitant all season. I just like the way it looks. I just like the way it feels. I'd like to see more of that. I get the Hartenstein Sims thing. I'm okay with it, but let's try RJ at the 4, please. That's it. That's all I got. This is a fun game. They've won 4 in a row. I can't believe it that I'm sitting here talking about a fucking team that's won 4 in a row after not only the Mavs game, but how this season started and how Tibbs' seat was hot. I thought it was hot. I thought it was burning hot after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it was. Here we are. All right. We start, as we always do, with a reminder from our good friends at WynnBet. Download the WynnBet app or visit www.wynnbet.com. That is WYNNBET.com to start winning. I said it after the last game. Go to WynnBet, get your get your deal and start putting money on the Knicks to cover, Knicks money line, the whole thing. They're playing well right now. Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet $100, win $100. Download, bet, win. All right. I love it. This is fun. It's fun to watch basketball again. Wasn't fun for a while, but now it's fun. For a while, it was it's fun watching this Jalen Brunson guy do some things. As Andrew flashes on the screen to get the likes up for the new, only took me a month and a half, weekly predictions champion. Yes, me. I'm not going to refer to myself in the third person. Sorry, Andrew. All right, let's get to the super chats. I've been talking for long enough. Forgotten NYC starts us off. Second half without Randle was awesome. I want more. I was wondering when someone was going to say it, and it took one comment to say it. There's that morbid curiosity, right? There's that morbid curiosity about what this team looks like. Without him, what I will say, to be fair, putting aside, just putting aside the stylistic stuff, putting aside where there's, how their ceiling changes, how their floor changes, long term, short term, what they get back, what's the trade, the mentality of the team, the whole thing, all that stuff, putting it aside, it's very enjoyable for me to watch Julius Randle when he's playing like this. I think it's really fun. He's playing the right way on offense. I have zero complaints with how he's playing on offense. I understand he still dominates the ball, and which by definition means that other guys don't have the ball as much. I get that that's frustrating. It's cool when a guy is like operating on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders. Excuse me, I mixed up my analogies. And he's playing for your team. Like nobody's stopping that dude right now. That said, I'd be lying if there wasn't a small part of me that after he got ejected was like, oh, okay, well, now we get to see how they look without him. And there was some moments where it was like, oh, this is kind of nice. So I get it. I'm not killing you for it, but I do want to at least throw Randle a bone. So thank you for that. Robert Cross, another Randle lover. Is it fair and reasonable to say, I knew this was coming, the Knicks can aspire to the 4 seed? If so, would you consider them a dark horse for the... Oh, my God, Robert. I can't even read this rest of this comment. He knows when he does this to me. A dark horse for the Eastern Conference Finals. Hashtag 53 wins. Well, I'll say this. 53 wins, still ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as it was a week and change ago. They're playing really well. I mean, I still think the talent in the East is going to rise. You're not going to get a team like the Sixers to play 2 games above 500 for like that much longer. The Knicks are tied for 6th right now, which is really nice. The Hawks and Bulls are coming down the stretch, so perhaps the Hawks will enter themselves a 3-way tie. Famous last words. Andrew Coletti will kill me for this later. I'm still not quitting Miami. I know they lost to the Spurs at home last night. It's a bad loss you could have in the league right now. Toronto, I still think Toronto will figure some things out. But, like, will they be in the running for a top 6 seed? I think they'll be in the running for a top 6 seed for sure. If they keep playing like this, I mean, that goes without saying if they keep playing like this. And I think they will keep playing like this for the most part. Thank you, Robert. Robert with another one. First time, long time, John. If Brunson is out for an extended period, love you, Robert, would we embrace the tank for Victor? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen. No, this team is not going to tank. I'll just read one more from Robert. This super chat is for Kevin Danishevsky. RJ says hello. Hashtag 53 wins. Look, I know who I want to give a shout out to. Oh my God, I hope I remember his name correctly. Josh. Met Josh in the Queens Mall the other day. We were both online to get pictures taken with our kids with Santa. And he's a big RJ fan. So I want to give a shout out to you. And it really, the pain on his face as he told me how upsetting it is to hear me talk ill of RJ sometimes. I think I finally got it. I think I finally got it, how much it does hurt when I speak ill of him. And yeah, I'm like, there's a part of me that does want to point out, like, look, this team's renaissance. I still think Brunson has to get the most credit, and I still think Randle has to get the second most credit. That doesn't mean RJ Barrett can't get a lot of credit. He's had now 2 nice games in a row. This was a really good game. 44 minutes, fucking man. You play 44 minutes, and he was out. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect, but you play 44 minutes, take a bow. Like, that's leadership right there. That's guts. That's grit. That's all the things. 44 minutes is 44 fucking minutes. And it was mostly really good. So I like where it's headed for RJ. It's still not perfect, but we don't need perfect from him. We just need good, and he's been better than good of late. So there's my bone for all the RJ lovers. Again, shout out to you, Josh. And as far as the tank, this team ain't tanking. Will Kebe, what's going on, Will? What Randle giveth, the double text taketh away. Well said. I have nothing more to add. Robert Cross with one more. Robert, you're just going to do all the super chats tonight? Thank you for the generosity, as always. First time, long time, John. I do not want Emmanuel Quickley to be traded. Additionally, I don't want any more IQ trade newsletters. Hashtag Ewing Patreon. There's not going to be any more IQ trade newsletters. And to be very fair to myself, the newsletters about trading IQ were specifically of the tone of do not trade Emmanuel Quickley. And also, Emmanuel Quickley is awesome. And here's all the reasons why you should not want to trade him. We are of the same mind, Robert, just to be clear, for as much as it upsets you. I don't think they can trade him right now. They're playing too well. He's playing too well. He's not making a ton of shots, but like a team would have to blow them away with an offer to get them to trade Emmanuel Quickley right now. And I don't think that's happening. He said after the last game, I love New York. I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I'm more, I'm going to choose my words carefully here. I suspect that with Tom Thibodeau finally stumbling upon for the first time in a year and a half, a rotation that he likes and that he may downright love. I think he has some voice in the front office. I do not think that Tom Thibodeau is enamored with the idea of trading Emmanuel Quickley. And I would go so far as to say that he is perhaps the opposite of enamored with the idea of trading Emmanuel Quickley. And a lot of people have a lot of gripes with Tibbs. There's also a lot of people out there who love Emmanuel Quickley. And a lot of those people are in the Venn diagram is like two overlapping circles for the most part. People who love Quick and hate Tibbs. Well, if you love Quick, Tibbs might be your best friend right now. Because do you think Tibbs wants this guy going anywhere? Nope. No. I suspect. Haitian Ferg, thank you for your generous comment. Contribution and comment. Solid defense. Julius Randle had a beef, but you can't get thrown out there. Can't agree more. Officials were terrible. I'm sorry. Quick sidetrack. Worst officiated game of the year. Worse than the Portland game. Worse than I don't care what game you want to say. Worst officiated game of the year by far. Anyway, Tibbs' rotation starting to show good signs. I mean, how are there any qualms about his rotations right now? Yeah. Good signs of defensive chemistry. Less scrambling, more face-up defense, Deuce, IQ, Grimes, solid. The technique, possession after possession after possession, the technique is just sound. And the effort is sound. The urgency is there. It's all there. I mean, this is what a good defensive team looks like. And give credit where credit's due, I guess. Thanks, Haitian. Anthony Sixto. Middle of the third, Randle called out Barrett to cut. Oh, most fun play of the game. Led to a Mitch lob. Randle is doing a better job of drawing doubles and using it to create for others. Dreaming for that 7-game streak. # stairway to 7. Ooh, I like that. Nice. I like that, Anthony. Thank you for the contribution again. It happened at least twice in a row. Did it happen 3 times in a row? Where he called Barrett to cut middle, and Barrett did, and then one of them was the lob to Mitch. Another one, Barrett made the floater. I can't remember if there was a third instance, but he knew what they were going to do, and they did it, and he made the right play. Can't play. I mean, you really can't play much better offensively than Randle's playing right now. Kevin Danishevsky, this is the most fun I've had since 2021. Hands down. What they did that fourth quarter without Brunson and Randle is a testament to their defensive mindset right now. The Kings did not threaten. I love that comment. Completely agree. I did not. Even when Brunson went out, I got to say, I thought they were going to win that game. I felt pretty confident that they were going to win that game. Jalen Brunson has a sprained ankle, according to Tom Thibodeau. Now, is it a severe sprain? I don't know. Is it a high sprain? I don't know. Probably not going to find out anything on this until tomorrow. I would imagine If there's an MRI, which hopefully there's not, we would find that out later tonight from one of the national reporters, probably Woj. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Ryan Huang, awesome effort by the kids to close out without Redacted and Brunson, but a clear lack of a floor general down the stretch. If Rose fills in, does he or Emmanuel Quickley start? Yes, half an hour in almost, and I get to do my hot take. Here's the hot take. You ready for it? This could be so ridiculous, and I could look so stupid. Never stopped me before. I think if Brunson misses time, Derrick Rose will start. And I think that for a couple of reasons. The primary reason is I think Tommy likes the setup right now. He likes the fact that he brings in his defensive guy, Deuce, midway through the first. Deuce, with the understanding, obviously, that Brunson sprained his ankle and didn't play the end of the game. Deuce McBride tonight played 21 minutes. That feels about right for where he's at right now. You could definitely get those minutes higher. I mean, Deuce is the type of guy that you could bring him in at the 6-minute mark, and you could leave him in there. You could leave him in there you could leave him in there for 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes easily. And I think he likes that setup. I don't think he wants to screw with that setup. And I think if you're asking me like who's more similar to Brunson, who's the most similar player to Brunson on the roster, clearly it's Rose. Like Rose isn't going to jitterbug around like Brunson because, quite frankly, nobody in the league could do that at the point guard position quite like he can, especially now that Chris Paul is getting up there in years. But Rose can still, like Rose, again, I always shout out Benji several times on these post games. Rose is still the best pick and roll ball handler on the team. So we could still do that. That's a nice benefit. Is Rose's shot going to come around? Is he still going to be leaving these shots short? Like, I don't know, but like, I trust Derrick Rose in there with the starters. And then, you know what? If it doesn't go well, like, took him out of the rotation once, you can do it again. Like, he's the one guy that I like. I'm not worried about the chemistry. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. He's a veteran leader. The locker room respects him. It's not gonna turn into like a Kemba situation. Not that it could, because obviously Brunson's the guy here, but like, I trust that the most if, and we hope he's not, if Brunson is out. And then of course, is it a little serendipitous? I forget Jessica used a better word, I think, in the KFS Discord. I think it was serendipity. That they're playing Chicago the next couple of games. Doesn't hurt in Chicago, back home. I think that's interesting, So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yes, serendipity. That was Jessica's word. Sean Ford. I don't want to hear anyone blaming Randle. Officials were criminally bad. If Brunson is hurt, it's on the officials too. They made it unsafe out there. I'm okay with that comment. I think, like, the reasons why people are hard on Randle, and the reason why I am okay calling out Randle for what I do believe was something you just can't do, is this is not the first or second or third or fifth or 10th or whatever time that we've had to question his emotional maturity on a basketball court. That's the only reason, So, yeah, that's it. Kevin Danishevsky feels like the start of something special. That's honestly the biggest reason I'm hopeful Brunson's okay for him, because I still think the All-Star push is very much alive, especially now that the Knicks are winning games. And B, I just it does feel like the start of like a really nice thing here. And I want to keep it going. I don't want it to end selfishly. Tibbs said he's not sure if Brunson will be available for the Chicago game. The Chicago game, we should note, is Wednesday. So they do have a couple days. Jessica, what's going on, Jessica? There's some serendipity right there. Your super chat pops up just as I shout you out. What a fun game. It's amazing how fun this team has become over 4 games. McBuckets is so much fun to watch on defense. I like that. McBuckets. I think someone else may have dibs on that one, but I like it. The D all around is getting better. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, it is. And the 3-game road trip, by the way, at Chicago on Wednesday, at Chicago Friday night. Oh, look. Yes. They try to extend this winning streak on my 8-year winning anniversary. That is what Wednesday is. As I look at the date, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. For those wondering, I am not ignoring my anniversary to watch a Knicks game. We can't do anything. It's during the week. So we're just celebrating our anniversary on Saturday night. To be very clear to everybody who may be concerned for my well-being. And then Chicago is next Sunday, or excuse me, Indiana is next Sunday. And then they have tough 4-game slate at home. Golden State, Toronto, Chicago, Philly. Tough slate there. So we'll see what happens. Thanks, Jessica. Next up, get those likes up for the Macris. 8 years of going strong, Andrew. I love my wife to death. I don't know what I do without her. She's my best friend. And yeah. None of this shit happens without her. I'll say that. Sam, what's going on, Sam? Thank you for the very generous contribution. The NBA season is very long. Every team in the league will go through the ringer between game 1 and game 82. Don't overreact to early season swings. Every team is one streak away from changing the narrative. My favorite comment of the night, and might be my favorite comment of the year. Look, I got carried away a few times this year. Starting with that Hawks game 7, just because I think there was so much PTSD built up after last year. And I said it before or at the beginning of like the fourth quarter, the next game at Philly, when they were facing the Phillies like C squad, and they were down by whatever it was, 12 or 14 points. And I was like, if they don't win this game, Tibbs' seat is going to start to get hot. That was getting carried away. And I think after the OKC game, you could at home, you can maybe say the same thing. Although I wasn't the only one who was upset, and I don't know if it's been officially reported yet, but like I think there's reason to believe that the owner and the front office had words after that game. And that was game. What was that? That was game 13, so still early. And then after the Dallas game, despite the fact that they had largely been playing better, I mean, those 3 close losses really hurt. And then to come out of the second half like they did in that Dallas game. So yeah, there have been overreactions, and good job by you pointing it out. And I'll just say this: I do think we've been conditioned, or at least I feel like I've been conditioned as a Knicks fan, and more than that, if I'm being honest, someone who has to cover, who does cover this team, and like tries to respect the diversity of opinions out there. Like other organizations that start out and it's rough with expectations, right? And it's rough. I don't know that there are the sorts of reactions that we were getting early on in the season. And maybe that's, I don't know, is that some people may push back on that. That may be an overgeneralization, but like fans, I think certainly lose their shit anywhere where there's expectations and like a team starts out bad, especially if it's a lot of the same things that they've been complaining about for a while. But I think there is stability within across the league by and large. And I think here where stability has not been a tenet of this organization for the last 22 years since this owner has taken over. And I think like, I know that, like I've internalized that. I'm not sure how much other people internalize that. So like the hemming and the hawing and the hand wringing and the pearl clutching and all of that sorts of stuff that went on early, like for me, at least, I'll just speak for myself. That was me kind of realizing like, well, it's okay if I do this because I know behind the scenes what's going on. And what's nice about this is maybe for the first time in a long time, we can have stability within this organization. And the last thing I'll say before we move on to the next comment, because I know I'm going on for a while on this, but like, credit to a lot of the people out there, and there were some, their voices were getting drowned out, but they were out there who, with those bad losses early in the year, were like, listen, just calm down. Ease, pump the brakes on fire this person, fire that person, trade this person, the whole thing. Doesn't mean they're a perfect team. Obviously, they're not. Like, they do need to still make moves, but I think those sorts of comments are coming to look pretty wise the further we move along. And, you know, good job by them. That's all I'll say. Josh B, if JB is seriously hurt, are we still a win now team? They're a win now team until it's like staring them in the face to not be. Like, they're a game above 500, you know? Like, I mean, if he's like out for the rest of the year, like I don't even want to say that out loud, but like, no, if I think he sprained an ankle. He'll be okay. Robert Cross with another one. First time, long time, John. How are we feeling about Star J's caloric diet tonight? Looking good. Hashtag 53 wins. I mean, look, let's just, again, we have to call a spade a spade. He had 27 points on 21 shots. Around the league, that's like still not, like, again, if you're just going points per shot attempt, that's okay. It's better. It's better than like 22 points on 21 shots. 27 points is better. His points per shot attempt on the year are still hovering around the 30th percentile league-wide. And amongst guys who are pretty high usage, he is still lower down the totem pole. I felt good about the fact that his shots all mattered tonight, and I thought he had good intentions, and even if it wasn't perfect, I really like how he's played. And I'm very encouraged by what we've seen. You know, I just got to keep it a buck. Stevens Guillaume, back over 500, back at 500 at home, 4 wins in a row, giddy up. I love all the giddy ups right now. All the giddy ups. Atlanta is about to win, I think. They have 1 second left. They're up by 2 in overtime over Chicago. If Atlanta wins, they tie us, which would be annoying. But the Bulls would lose, which is kind of nice. Anyway, Yushen Zhu, hashtag we here, question mark. I think I'm sure someone co-opted we back at some point. I think I like we back. Mangu Man, what's going on, Mangu? Grimes, Deuce defense, phenomenal. It's like you could highlight 24 possessions a game where one or both of them does something, and you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Also, why isn't Mitch capable of flashing to the foul line as a release valve to break a double? Sheesh. He's just not the most intuitive guy. He is not a playmaker. He's not a quick decision maker. If the ball is is put in his hands in that spot, it's very possible he's not going to see the correct next pass. He's an imperfect offensive player. What he does well, he does very well. And he's played really good. Gonna be a tough decision for me for stars of the weekend. He's in the running, though. He's in the running for sure, even though he fouled out tonight. Juanon, what's going on, Juanon? Randle Tex might have been a blessing. His negativity is contagious, as is his positivity when he's good. Too bipolar. That said, great win, and hashtag 4J looked great. I think it means hashtag 4J, Star J? I don't know, whatever. I hope Brun is okay. Hi, Andrew.
Hi. What position did RJ Barrett play in the fourth quarter?
Oh, 4J. Good job by you, Juanon.
There you go.
You own that now. 4J. That's all yours, man. Listen. We know I'm a little slow on the upkeep. As for Randle, like, I can't go so far as to be like, if he wasn't ejected, like, they would have lost the game. Although, hey, listen, you never know. Not insane. RJ was asked about Julius's second technical foul and says someone's got to go get him after the first. Tibbs made a similar comment. You got to grab them. That's just a general thing for everyone. Barrett said, once someone gets one, you got to hold them back after that. Well, especially him. Thanks, Juanon. Appropriately timed comment with those things. With that tweet and comments from the Knicks. Requiem Gaming. What's going on, Alex? Hello from the land of enchantment. Deuce McBride's Defensive Player of the Year campaign starts now. Julius Randle was making a push for the All-Star team before that stupid ejection. I actually started to have the thought tonight, like, if the Knicks are like in 6th or 7th, even maybe 8th, definitely 6th, maybe 7th. And it's when the All-Star voting is happening, and they're clearly playing above their heads, and those guys' stats are like more or less equal. Would there be a Randle push? You know, because like we watch the game, sound like Tibbs. We watch the game, so we know that like when Randle's bad defensively, it seems like it has an outsized impact. But at the same time, like, you know, Brunson also brings his own bag of defensive issues, right? So, you know, outsiders looking in, they're going to be like, well, defensively, 6 of one, half dozen the other. The numbers are what they are. That'd be really interesting. I mean, the Knicks aren't getting 2 All-Stars, so I'm just curious who the Knicks would push. As DeMar DeRozan, I believe, is at the line for 3 free throws to beat the Hawks. I hope he makes these. Fuck Atlanta. Okay, thank you for that comment, Alex. Jason Feldman. John, is the deuce loose? I'll hang up and listen. Makes a second. I looked at it the other day. It hasn't updated yet, but yeah, as of this morning, I believe, or yet last night, one or the other, Deuce McBride had because cleaning the glass only gives you players on their leaderboard who have played at least 100 minutes. Deuce McBride had the best on-off on the defensive end of the court in the entire league. Not amongst guards, not amongst combo guards, amongst every single player in the league. No one had a better defensive on-off rating than Deuce McBride. The Knicks were something like coming in tonight 21.5 points per 100 possessions stingier when Deuce is on the floor. That's a fake number. Now, granted, he just got over the 100-minute mark. So, like, you know, give it time. But he's a pain in the ass. Who the hell would want to play that guy? DeMar hits all 3. Fucking clutch, man. I'm conflicted. I so badly want Atlanta to lose, but I also don't want Chicago to get momentum going into these games against us. Oh, well. Anton Cates. It's hard to fake 4 in a row. Barring injury, we have a modicum of optimism. So what I'll say about the 4 in a row is they won 4 in a row last year in March with like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to go in the season. So it's not impossible, right? But like, I think again, teams are missing, but this reminds me so much of the We Here season, because all season long, everybody on the outside was like, oh, it's going to regress. It's going to regress. It's going to regress. It's going to regress. But when you watched them every day, and I don't care how many shots were being logged as open shots in NBA.com stats page, like, there were guys flying around. You felt the Knicks, even if it was a Knick that was like, if it was after pass after pass after pass, and it's like, oh shit, I better get this off because this is the best look we're gonna have, and oh my god, there's this guy flying. Like, they did make you feel them 2 years ago. And we were sitting here 8 days ago, and I got here, and I feel like an idiot now for saying it, but I was like, well, is the scheme broken? Can you have this scheme in a league that is just getting better and better and better with 3-point shooting when you don't have a perfect roster to execute this scheme? And I think what we've seen over the last 4 games is like, maybe you don't need a perfect roster. You just need like above average execution and above average effort. And that's what they're getting. And like, yeah, they're going to like, it's a 3-point shooters league. No matter what fucking defense you play, you're going to have nights where you get lit up. It happens. Go look at any scoreboard on any night, and you're going to see some team that's like, oh, that's a pretty good team. Why'd they give up like 128 points? That's weird. Because the team gets hot. It happens. It's about how much does it happen. And the reason I got on here 8 days ago and I was like, this thing might be broken and they might, the coach might need to go, is because they weren't trying very hard. They weren't executing well, and they were ranked fucking 26th. And the 4 teams below them weren't trying to win. Now, Andrew Claudio, you know where I'm going with this. You want to filibuster for 2 minutes or 10 seconds, however long it's going to take me?
Where are you going?
You know what my favorite thing to do. To update the latest.
I have the NBA stats page open. It's not updated yet.
It is open. It's updated.
Now it is updated. Go ahead.
The New York Knickerbockers have, I can't believe I'm about to say these words, on the season, a top 10 defense.
Wait, what? I was reacting to the Hawks game. Yes, the Knicks are 10th in defense.
Oh, wait, I'm behind.
Okay.
I still have 0.5 to go.
Okay. I didn't mean to do that to you. You're about to see something pretty special. So the Knicks currently have a top 10 defense. So in 4 games, the Knicks went from 26th to 10th.
Who was that? AJ Griffin?
That was AJ Griffin. Yeah.
What a wild play. What a wild game.
So I was conflicted too. I actually wanted the Bulls to win because you don't want a team coming in off a loss because that might actually add to the hunger of a need to win.
Yeah, but sometimes when
that's clean too. So we should say what happened. John narrated the Hawks being up by 2. They fouled DeRozan on a 3 with 1 second left.
Hits all 3 free throws.
3 free throws to put him down by 1 with 0.5 left.
And then on the inbounds, who threw? I should know who.
That looks like Bogey.
Bogey.
No, it's not Bogey. It's not Bogey. It's someone else.
Someone threw the inbounds perfectly. Placed inbounds past AJ Griffin under the basket, who caught as he was jumping and threw the ball behind him
and got it off cleanly with 0.5 left.
Yeah, he turned in midair. Great play by AJ Griffin. Great pass by it was Jalen Johnson.
That's who it was.
Guy taken with right around where the Knicks were picking 2 years ago, and AJ Griffin, a guy the Knicks could have taken this year. Interesting connection there. But yeah, so the Hawks win. The Hawks tie us for record wise, but now the Bulls fall another game under 500. Their season has not gone the way you'd want it. So I don't know how to feel.
About what? About Thursday?
About the Bulls, like you just said. You want a team. You don't want a team coming off a loss.
Oh yeah,
that much hungrier. And
I wanted the Bulls to win, so that's where I am. I wanted the Bulls to win because it's the Knicks would have been tied with Indiana for the 6th seed coming in tonight instead of this weird 3-way tie.
I don't mind the 3-way tie. I just things have been going also really bad for Atlanta, and I kind of like the idea of things continuing to go bad for Atlanta and maybe them having some real internal issues. But maybe this is the sort of win that could kind of put a team back on track. We've gone off course. Can I just say once again, the Knicks have a top 10 defense.
Top 10 defense, yes.
It's fucking wild.
They're top 10 in defense. They're top 15 in net rating. And their offense, which was top 10 a week ago, is down to 15. But lo and behold, nothing like a 4-game stretch where 3 games are under 100 points. And it was 121-102 the other night, right? That was the Hornet game score?
Yes.
So 4 games of 102 or less. Yeah, that'll fix that'll fix a defensive rating.
Jesus. Next, read the next super chat.
I will read the next super chat. It's from Hush Sue. Oh God, I remember when this popped up. Our great leader, JR30, showing grit, resilience, maturity, an absolute stud, a true specimen, a master at his craft. Hashtag trade 30. He's the best. I hope I read that with the same emphasis that you wanted, Hush Sue. The sincerity and no amount of sarcasm is sensed in said comment.
I think, as it has been the case for some time now, the trade Randle discussion continues to be the most fascinating one regarding this team. I'd say this. I think you can get a real thing for him. some real stuff.
So I know that second technical was like one you can't get, especially when you're shorthanded, and I crushed him on Twitter too. He's been good offensively all season, and this week he's like been one of the main reasons for the 4-game winning streak. I know the defense more than anything else is.
East Player of the Week. I think he was right in the running, and maybe he still is, but I don't think he's going to get it now.
I'm uncomfortable rushing to the trade 30. I understand it's responsible, like you've called it the Michael Corleone move, that you have to talk about it.
It depends on the trade. To be very clear, it depends on the trade.
And we spent the offseason saying bag of balls. We've upgraded that to bag of balls and a protected first.
Well,
probably.
I see, but that's where the conversation gets interesting because, like, again, maybe this is silly, but if the front office was like, we're not selling low on him now, like, you want this dude? This dude could win you a playoff. This guy could be the difference in a playoff series. Like, if he's your second or third best player. And they could say that with a straight face. I don't know if they're just buying it, but they could say it with a straight face. Anyway, let's move on. Kyle Crawford, thank you for the contribution. I'm assuming there's a comment.
Oh, he retracted his comment. Thank you for the contribution.
Thank you. Chris Carter, thank you for the contribution. My biggest gripe with you is how you accepted Tibbs' rigidity. He was always capable of making these adjustments, but he waited until his job was on the line to do so. The solutions were there. That's on him. Oh God, I haven't done a Tibbs diatribe in a while. I don't really want to do one now. You take people in life as they are. Everybody is flawed. No one is perfect. At any given time, and I'm certainly not the first person to say this, many people much smarter than me have said this. At any given time in the NBA, there are probably 2 or 3 or 4 really, really, really good coaches and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 really, really bad coaches. And everybody else falls in the same bucket. And the people in that bucket have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. And Tibbs, God knows, has his weaknesses. And we've seen those weaknesses come out with a vengeance over the whole entirety of his New York tenure. If you want to go back to the Elfrid Payton thing, it's fine. But you either respect someone for what they bring to the table or you don't. I always did. I understand others didn't, and that's fine. It's a fair comment, though. I'll say that.
Good. I'm glad you accept the fair comment. I agree.
Of course
with it.
Of course it's fair, but it's like I just don't. What's realistic, right? It's like all of these coaches out there, like so all of these coaches that are not amongst the elite, you know. And meanwhile, you got a coach that like a lot of people consider the best coach in the sport right now, Eric Spoelstra, who's sitting there at 12-15.
And there's chatter in Miami.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right. You know.
Look, my 2 cents on this. I spent the pregame show defending Tibbs a bit, but it's with the caveat that, like, I also have accepted what he is. I don't know. It's similar to the way that we viewed the front office for a while, that it's like, this is competence, you know, like I have not known competence, and therefore I am in love with competence. And Tibbs was above competence year 1, but it's like you said, with the Elfrid Payton thing, still had his flaws, right? And then year 2, like, there were so many of those that everybody's still like referring back to that. And this season, he's been more flexible, but it's doing all the things that a lot of people have suggested. And I'm at the point of, listen, they're competent right now. Like, can I just live with this for a while? All the players that the front office drafted are now playing. Yes. So now everybody can look good during this winning streak. Like, I don't want to talk about firing the coach or anything until they stop being competent anymore, you know? So that's where I'm at. I'm just like enjoying winning, even if it is like the way we got here is it had to get very dire and very frustrating. They're winning, and we'll see if it's to their betterment. But I like watching a team that is winning.
They're winning, and like, who knows what's going to happen? The team could lose the next 12 games, and Tibbs could get fired, and it could all go to shit. But like, if you are a person that believes the path to anything good for this franchise is to escape the label of the most dysfunctional or second most dysfunctional or third most dysfunctional, whatever, franchise in the league that they've had for the last 2 decades, then I think you have to be happy about what's going on right now, because I could promise you this. If they had fired Tibbs early on this season, I mean, absent something like just a totally abysmal record, and like really, 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 really glaring, like all like the shit that we saw last season, but worse, like down to the rotation stuff, down to the blown lead stuff. Like, and again, all this could happen. Who the hell knows? But like, absent that, if he had gotten fired with this roster and after what he's been able to do here, it would have been extraordinarily ugly around the league in terms of how people discussed it. And that may not have, matter to people, but
yeah,
I am someone who tends to believe that the first step for the Knicks to be good has to be that people around the league look at them as like an organization that kind of knows what they're doing and is competent, like you said, Andrew.
And that's where, so like, if Tibbs had gotten fired last Sunday, it's because of the how. They get blown out in back-to-back games by Dallas and Cleveland. Like, it would have been a how thing. They're not like the team has quit on him. There would have been a reason to.
Yeah, and it still would have been ugly.
I'm just telling you, but then the thing would have trickled down to the front office, which a lot of people that were saying, the reason to fire Tibbs is like, get the process started on something new. And what I'm saying is, every time we've gotten to that point of, maybe this is where the wheels fall off, there's a rotation change, there's an adjustment. And this is even more so why I'm like enjoying this. There's no, God love Derrick Rose. I also think, I don't think it's that hot take that Tibbs is gonna turn to his favorite basketball player ever.
I have something on that.
Oh, okay. Do you mean Quickley quote?
Well, yeah, Quickley was asked after the game about if he may get starts with Jalen Brunson down, and God love Emmanuel Quickley. All he wanted to say was, my guy's hurt. I'm not really worried about who's starting and who's is not. My teammate is down. It's one of the million reasons why you love Emmanuel Quickley and why he should not get traded ever. He should retire in Knicks, as far as I'm concerned. I do wonder, with some of the stuff that's been flying around recently, if Brunson's out, do they throw him that bone quickly?
Oh,
that would be interesting.
It would depend who the backup is then.
I would assume it.
Actually, you know what? No. Because who do you think would be the closing point guard in this sense? Probably Quickley, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it does make sense to have Derrick Rose be the backup, because he could do the same thing he was doing. Just come in for 12 minutes, come in for 14 minutes. And Quickley just gets Brunson's workload. Look, my money would be on Derrick Rose starting on Wednesday.
I think
now that I'm playing it out, maybe that does work.
So would mine. I think the thing that he doesn't want to sacrifice is the defensive identity. And I think if you started Quickley, took Quickley out early, took Quickley out after like 6 minutes, put in Rose, and left in Grimes, but also put in Deuce. So then I guess you're running Deuce, Rose, and Grimes. A little small, but you could get away with it, I think. Run that for the rest of the first quarter, and then put Quickley back in for Rose, and like RJ back in for Grimes. Like, basically shuffle through so you continue to have two of those three guys on the floor at all times. Deuce, Quickley, Grimes. I think whatever gets him that, which obviously, but we're not getting that at the start of games, but we're getting it for like a large portion of the game. I think that's where he wants to be. I don't know, man. I could see it go either way, actually, now that I'm talking about it out loud.
The Quickley, like you just said, what Jalen Brunson's rotation has been. He leaves 6 minutes in, 6, 7
until
minutes
tonight,
in.
Oddly enough.
Well, tonight, I was actually hoping that would be a question, but it came after what his injury happened. So that's the only Jalen Brunson question that mattered. Point being, I think if you give Quickley the Brunson rotation, basically, then that's a way to keep things intact as they are right now. And Derrick Rose just plays his backup 14 minutes. Point where I was going with this: Grimes, Deuce, Quickley, RJ, all Obi when he's healthy. The kids are playing Finally, I could get behind a rotation of all the kids are playing and this offensive version of Julius Randle.
I'll tell you who I don't expect to be in the rotation come Wednesday.
Oh, don't say it. We haven't said his name yet. We're not gonna say.
I'll wait for somebody else to bring him up.
Yeah.
Keith, what's going on, Keith? Another chance to watch live. Awesome. Gritty win. Julius getting thrown out was annoying, but I think it gave RJ a chance to show more of his all-around game. It was nice seeing RJ take the reins for sure. Which was hope JB is okay. Good work, Macri. Oh, thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. I just say whatever comes to my mind, as Andrew knows full well.
Yes.
Hush Zoo, Brunson going down, giving me KP vibes. No. Don't put that in the universe.
No, it's also not.
No, it's not. That was
the vibes in the moment. I think we all had the same heart attack, but he walked off the floor.
Yeah.
KP didn't do that, you know.
The of his All-Star season could change the trajectory of the team. Praying he's not too hurt. I don't like what is I should know this. What is it didn't look, was it a high ankle sprain? It didn't look like it was a high ankle sprain.
It looked like from when they showed the replay, it looked like a regular. He rolled up his ankle.
So what is that at most, a week?
It's rice. Rest, whatever. Elevation is what ends. Rice is the acronym. I forget what the I and the C are. Oh, it's rest, ice, compression, and elevation. That's how you get rid of a sprained ankle. Shout out to every coach I had in high school.
It's fantastic that you knew what that was.
Yes. Point is, it's like these guys have more money than my private school did, so maybe it's like he's back by Friday. You know, their medicine might be better.
Damn, I just noticed the Magic beat the Raptors tonight. That's interesting.
Want to go back and record our power ranking spot, John?
And the Rockets beat the Bucks tonight.
Oh, that I can't explain. I'm guessing some people weren't playing.
What is no? I know that I saw something about Middleton. I think Middleton might have been out, but
the Bucks scored 92. Giannis played. Middleton left at 6 minutes in.
There you go. Okay.
So there you go.
But still, that's like it's the Rockets. They just lost to the Spurs. The NBA is broken.
Now Ted Cruz goes 2 for 12. All right, next up. Oh no. Yeah, next up.
Requiem Gaming with one more. If Brunson is out for an extended time, maybe we could trade for Burks to be
that's the best
to be our starting point guard. Hashtag MSG League Fairy. They get if I was Detroit, I wouldn't give Burks away. He's been good for them.
Yeah.
He's a good basketball player. Come on. Mango Man, trade Julius Randle. Yes, please. How are they without him? Terrible. I guess
he wants to tank. I guess
he wants to tank, right?
All right. More power to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Requiem Gaming with another one. Alex, you're on fire tonight. Kings 3 lowest scoring games of the season: 110, 110, 106. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I looked up their stats before, but they haven't had many low scoring games. We held them under 100. Got to keep IQ. Works so well with Grimes and Deuce. Go New York, go New York, go. Is there any Knick fan alive whose favorite minutes right now aren't when all three of those guys are out there? Maybe some people.
They play the majority right now together when it's usually those three together. So I don't blame you if those.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
When those three guys were out there with RJ at the 4, that was fun.
Justin pointed this out in our pregame show group chat. When's the last time you had like 9 straight fourth quarter minutes of 5 men that were drafted by the Knicks? That wasn't summer league and wasn't a blowout. Like a put the game, like wasn't garbage time. Like put the game away.
Pretty good
with those 5. If Mitch hadn't fouled out, it would have closed the whole game.
That's pretty good.
You know,
good job, Justin.
Yeah.
Shaw the realtor swapped Julius Randle for Prime Melo with this same team. Hashtag imagine. I don't think we could go back and I don't think we have the time machine technology quite yet. But imagining it with this point guard and this defense, got Mitch in the Tyson Chandler role.
Wait, what is this? Swap JR for Prime Melo.
Basically, you imagine this team with Prime Melo in place of Julius Randle.
And the Knicks are what, the 2 seed, 3 seed right now? Probably where Cleveland is.
Sounds about. I was about to say it's 2012-13.
Okay. I thought Shah was saying that the Knicks would be the same place they are now, like they'd be 14 and 13.
Oh no, I think it's
Okay.
like imagine what they would look like.
What they would look like. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. If they
Yeah.
had an automatic 30 points just waiting for them every night, and then Grimes
Julius-
Grimes could be like Landry Fields, and then Quickley is J.R. Smith, and
Do
you know
not-
what that
do not
is
do that to Quentin Grimes.
he has a better offensive game. You're right. I'm trying to think of
Quentin Grimes. We're going to talk about him in very different tones.
Listen, I hope so, because the way people talked about Landry Fields, it's like he was untouchable in certain trades.
I get it. I wrote it this summer over the summer. I was like, are we gonna look back at this like, oh, we can't give away Quentin Grimes stuff as like Landry Fields, or are we gonna look back at it like, oh, the Warriors didn't want to give away Klay Thompson for James Harden type of thing?
That comment was right, by the way. This is the first time the Kings have been held under 100 points this season.
Yes, that I know.
Yeah, the lowest.
I thought they had a few other ones that were kind of low. I may be wrong on
that. They have, it's around 110. But regardless, that comment in spirit was right.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex. Sean Ford, I really like RJ at the 4. He had, I believe, a career high 5 stocks tonight. 3 steals, 2 blocks. That sounds right. I don't ever remember him having a game with that much. With IQ, Grimes, Deuce, Mitch. Yeah. Like we just talked about, the defensive death lineup. That's fun. I like him defensively at the 4 so much more than I like him defensively at the 2 or the 3. So much more. Offensively is the more interesting question because he's getting a bigger guy on him, right, to defend him, and he can't bully that player as much on these drives. But like, I don't know, how much does that matter? I mean,
good.
No, because like you'd be like, well, he's faster than those big guys, but like, is he really? Like, it's not...
He has to be a little more creative. He doesn't blow by guys. Like Randle has a legit burst to the rim against certain 4s, certain 5s.
He does
when he's matched up again. He did it to Sabonis tonight. I think it was Clyde. Actually, it has to be Clyde because he would say this. He was methodical with his path to the rim in the fourth quarter. It's why I'm not. You had a moment earlier where you were like, I got to keep it a buck. He was 9 of 21. He had 27 shots on 27 points on 21 shots, right?
Yeah.
Like he was the only offensive option in the fourth quarter. And he created enough offense tonight. Like the context of tonight is different because when they lost Julius, I was like, damn, but thankfully they have Brunson. When they lost Brunson, it was like, oh, okay. How are they scoring the rest of the game? And they scored 15 fourth quarter points. It was just enough thanks to RJ.
He's going to get one of my stars of the weekend.
No. Congrats, RJ.
Which means that and Julius is going to get another one, which means I have to pick between
it's easy then.
Who?
Gotta be Grimes. There's an identity. Oh, I know where. Let's say Grimes or Deuce is where you're okay. Maybe that's a tag team then. Their insertion into the rotation has turned this into a top 10 defense.
Yeah, and I also wanted to give some consideration to Mitch because I really do think Mitch, especially in the Hornets game, I thought Mitch was very good in the Hornets game. Tonight, and I thought tonight Mitch was very good. He was very good. Heriberto? Does that sound
Heriberto.
Sí. Heriberto. Thank you. Castro. I love the newfound defense, fire in their belly over the last few games, but yes, they still need to trade him and peel it back. That overall immaturity on the court can't continue. # Julius got to go. Man, tough night for Julius, man.
He dug himself a hole last year. Like it's just the reality of it. You know,
he did. He's been really good though.
Hey,
love his defense tonight. Wobbler 3-0. Tasted Jeremy. Quentin Grimes, Deuce are winners. Oh man, I'm so happy I had faith in this team. I'm so happy. Now the question is, can I keep it going?
We'll find out tomorrow night on the KFS at the very end, at the prediction segment at the very end of tomorrow night's KFS podcast.
It's going to be very tricky because I don't know if we're going to know about Brunson yet, which could make my I am leaning already. I know which way I'm leaning towards, but and I think I'm going to put Jeremy in a tough spot. It's a 3-game week, right?
Yep, 3-game
So
week.
there's
All on
a-
the road though.
on the road,
Chicago, Indiana.
There's an obvious choice, and I think I'm going to go with the obvious choice. Anyway, Hush you with another one. Would the Hornets trade Book Night for Cam? Maybe Okoro plus Levert for Fournier and Cam. Okoro and Levert. The Cavs are not doing that. Emmanuel Quickley for Davion Mitchell. Don't crucify me, just spitballing. I think both teams say no to that. Cavs say no to the Okoro deal. And then would the Hornets trade Book Night for Cam? Yeah, I think they would. I think they're probably out on Book Night. I mean, that team is done, and they're not playing him.
Yeah, I think they'd look to shed too more than like if they're gonna trade for Cam, who they could technically just see what he is, they'd rather shed a contract. Yeah,
I think the Cam trade is the Lakers trade. I think it makes too much sense not to be.
Shout out Clutch.
Yeah. Luyen Chow. What's going on, Luyen? How are you? First time, long time. Can we please give Tibbs some credit? You said it, not me. Man, we've been killing him for so long, but the shortened rotation and the emphasis on defense have made a big difference.
How did you do that?
What?
Send a super chat. I've been watching your hands this whole time.
It's fucking terrible.
It's impressive.
It's so
wow.
bad.
You're surprising me with your talents these days, John.
I feel a little bad that I wavered. They were 26th in defense after
with how they were playing. That's why you're not wrong for wavering. They looked like they quit on their coach in the second half. Like
just to restate it, after 23 games, they were 26th in defense ahead of 4 teams trying to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't seem like they were trying as hard as they needed to try.
Yeah.
If I'm going to give myself any pat on the back, it's going to be like, look, you fire a coach when the team quits on the coach, or when you think something the coach is doing is like, it's so fundamentally flawed that your team is like just being held back because of it, which is where most people have been the last year and change, where they've been like, yes, there are many fundamental things that this coach is doing which are holding back this team. And you know what? There are still people who are like, there are many fundamental things this coach is doing which are holding back this team. And listen, those people might be right, but like, I'll go back to this tried and true one. He's doing what he was hired to do.
And they're winning. Like, that's what he was hired to do more than anything else.
That's my point.
And there's a 9-man rotation of mostly kids. If Julius Randle's too old, fine, Leo, you can get rid of him. But like, it's 28 years and younger is this entire rotation right now.
Scott Garchik. If Randle only gets 1 tech and doesn't get tossed, we lose this game. Wow, that's bull.
If Randle they were up by 18 points when he got that second technical.
Yeah, but you know what though, like
John.
I don't think they lose it because I do believe in the newfound defensive identity. But the fact that like this person you could make this comment, and like I do have to think like,
and I have to push back on both of you that they were only up by 18 because of the offensive night he was having, and the defense. Like I won't say only, but it was mostly the offensive night he was having, and the defense was good. So all they lost was his offensive night.
No, you're right. Listen,
it'd be one thing if they were tied and he got ejected. Then it's even more inexcusable. But can we not pretend that? Can we pretend the first half happened, please?
Have I not given him his flowers? It was amazing.
You just said they might have lost the game if he stayed in the game.
No. I said this comment. It says all you need to know about Julius Randle. That this comment made me think twice about like, does this person have a point? Might they have lost that game? No, I don't think they would have lost the game.
As long as you got to the second thought and we're like, no, they wouldn't have lost. Got
to the second thought.
There you go.
I-95 Bully, what's going on I-95? Just finished watching. I DVR'd the game. Nice gut check win with the second half defense, regardless of process. Fair. I like it. Thank you. SB Gorilla, what's going on, man? Good to hear from you. Thank you for the very generous contribution. Okay. Brunson has been great. In a world where we don't sign him, insert Emmanuel Quickley, traded Julius Randle, insert Obi, and keeping the rotation as it is now. Defensively great with Quickley, Grimes, McBride, Mitch, and Obi plays hard. Hashtag humor me, John. It's tough for me to humor you on this one because you're basically like take away the two most important offensive players on the team, basically, because he's like you didn't sign Brunson and you traded Randle. Like I don't even know what the offensive identity of that team is. I guess it looks a lot like the RJ centric team from the last 40, 50 games of last season.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, he did have Randle, maybe for worse off because of it. But like, I don't know. I'm enjoying what we're seeing.
Knicks Twitter would love that team.
Oh yeah, of course it would.
Yeah, it'd just be like we love the closing lineup tonight that got outscored, but they played hard, so
like
we like them.
I'm here for the idea of Emmanuel Quickley as a starting point guard.
Me too.
Alongside two wings that can commandeer your offense efficiently and effectively. RJ's not that right now. And then you don't have the second one. So, like, you're talking about a team that would be pretty gnarly offensively, I think. But you never know. Who knows what Obi would have looked like with 30, 35 minutes a game.
That's the unknown. You're right. The Obi element of this. If Obi then gets unlocked because he's playing 35 minutes, then
yeah, but like
that's different.
I have a tough time seeing him get unlocked where the other four players on the floor are RJ, Mitch, Quickley, and Grimes. Like, I don't know if I see that.
RJ, Mitch, Quickley, Grimes.
Obi gets unlocked when when you run for starters, but like when there's guys I think who could put pressure on the defense, that's going to help get Obi unlocked. He's not going to unlock himself. He's not that sort of player. But I don't know. Good comment. Good thoughtful comment. Anthony Strano. This team's depth is about to get seriously tested. Might we see Rose, Fournier, or even Cam back the next few games? I would say Rose most likely. And then there's like a big gap. I don't even know of those two. Who would you say? I was inclined initially to say Fournier.
So repeat it. So
basically, what's your order of like most likely to see in the next couple of games if Brunson misses a little
that
time?
Didn't play? Yeah, it's Rose
first. Yeah,
I think he could convince Cam. I don't think it's convincing. I think the difficult thing is the skill set you're replacing with Brunson is strictly ball handling duties. So that's why Rose almost has to be the replacement. Man. It's a gap. You're right between Cam and then I guess if Rose were to go down and it's just quickly induced running point with some point RJ minutes and then you put Cam in and it's like, listen, Derrick Rose went down. Here's 35 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
We said his name.
Dom the dentist. What's going on, Dom? Ejection aside, Randle has been amazing. Can we please forgive a reaction to such a badly officiated game we were watching? Imagine playing in it. That's fair. That's fair.
The correct wording to forgive it. You don't excuse it, but like he made a mistake and got ejected and he shouldn't have. I also really enjoyed that first half tonight.
It was great. Yeah, for sure. ZMP323, thank you for the contribution. Starting Rose over Quickley after sitting him in the last 4 games would send such an awful message to IQ after how hard he's played would be criminal. I think that's valid. I think that's valid because you're right. Quickley has played awesome, and this is one of those things that probably drives people crazy about Tibbs. He doesn't care about you as an individual basketball player. He cares about what's best for the team. Literally always says it. Emmanuel Quickley played 25 minutes tonight. I looked it up before this game. IQ it's going to be now over the last 14 games, so slightly more than half the season. He's in the top 10 in terms of minutes off the bench played. throughout the season. I think he's probably 7th or 8th. Like 25 minutes. He's been averaging over those 14 games about 25, 26 minutes a game off the bench. That's like he's playing. You can't. It's tough to complain about that. If that said, I respect the comment.
I think if your agenda is you want to see him start, like you need 30 Quickley minutes, then that's the way you complain. He's absolutely playing right now, like you said. I think part of the reason they went to a 9-man rotation is because they value more Quickley minutes over stretching a 10-man rotation so he plays 21 or 22. You
know what? Now the more I think about it, the more I think for reasons
they're gonna start Quickley.
I could see it.
The Derrick Rose just needs to play his 14 backup minutes. Make too much sense. And then Quickley plays Brunson's 33 minutes. There you go.
Because like the notion that like we've seen Tom over the course of his career play starters or start guys and then play them. Like this is the Keith Bogans thing, right? And then like not play them a lot of minutes. Like he did this with Elfrid Payton. So it's not like it can't happen, but like, man, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Robert Cross with another one. This is for the legend of GMAC. What is your favorite Christmas memory?
So when I was 11, my parents, 10 or 11, my parents knew I wanted an N64, and they set up a game of Drew's Clues in which I had to play Blue's Clues with like clues identified all around the house. And one clue was a controller, and one clue was another controller, and one clue was a game, and one clue was a carrying case. And then the final clue was in my like in the basement, and it was the N64 set up with with the TV and everything. And it wasn't just the game and the gift. It was like the effort they went into to make it great. And it was like, oh, not only was this awesome, but like, I can't wait. It was like the first time I noticed as a kid, the effort my parents went through, and when you realize that as a kid, it makes you appreciate your parents more. So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I dig it. Busy. What's going on, Busy? Knicks players are the only players in the league who get hurt or take hard falls and don't miss games. Look at Murray in the last game. The Knicks are the only team in the league to sacrifice long-term health for short-term game. I guess this is an anti-Tibbs comment.
You think?
I mean, I don't know about that. If guys are healthy enough to play, they're going to play. And I also would push back on that because we've seen this organization since Tibbs got here, be extraordinarily cautious with holding guys out when guys were actually hurt. I mean, there's a difference. Look, God knows I'm not the person qualified to be talking about this, but there's a difference between being hurt and injured. If guys are injured, they hold them out. If guys are hurt, they'll be like, all right, can you tough it out? If you can't tough it out, don't go. If you can, tough it out.
They sat Nerlens Noel how many games last year?
I mean, it's a lot, but there's a lot of instances of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm not there for that comment. Kevin Dish.
Shout out Busy though, our newest patron, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck at the next town hall, John.
Kevin Danishevsky. RJ definitely played better today. I just want to say that Quentin Grimes is just missing on his 3-point shots. Maybe. When he starts hitting it, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think RJ defensively got to box out. Got to be aware. Got to know where your man is at all times. That's important. But he was trying. He was trying out there. I still don't love the way he's moving, but he was really trying out there. And Grimes is, keep saying it, he's going to be fine. Gonna be fine. Lucas, what's yours and Andrew's favorite Billy Joel song? He was in Melbourne, Australia Saturday night. The old fella still got it. Go those Knicks. I will say, first of all, I think Billy Joel is the person out there who I have not seen live that I would most want to see live.
Really?
Yes. My favorite is not gonna be all that. I mean, I could say like 5 different ones. I'm gonna go with a song that I used to play. I couldn't get away with playing it at the end of every night that I DJ'd for many, many years, but there were some nights I could get away with it. It's Piano Man. Just because John at the bar is a friend of mine, gets me my drinks for free. That was me for a lot of years.
I just tried to ask Rosie. I'm the worst person to ask about a favorite Billy Joel song because I never really listened to Billy Joel. I was more of a hip hop guy. And I just don't like listen to music at all. Babe, what's your favorite Billy Joel song? Oh, she does not want to answer the question.
Really?
I think she's waiting to watch White Lotus. So I'll go with the one I hate the most, and it's New York State of Mind.
Are you serious?
They play it at the end of every Mets loss. You walk out of Citi Field and you play I'm in a New York.
Can I answer for you?
Yes.
We didn't start the fire.
Yes, that would be a good one. Okay. I'll make that on behalf of the future Claudias. We didn't start the fire.
That's the one that gets me hyped up the most.
Mm-hmm.
My God, there's so many fucking great ones. I like New York State of Mind. Sorry.
I'm sure it's a great song. It triggers bad memories.
I understand.
Never played when my baseball team that spends an unconscious amount of money now wins.
It's a beautiful song. All right. Anyway, Kyle Crawford. Been listening to KFS for a few years. Had to finally hop on the Super Chat just to be happy for the 4-game win streak, even against a shorthanded team. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for getting in on the action. 4 wins in a row. I mean, come on. It's good.
I dig it.
Let's be happy. It's okay to be happy with 4 in a row. Jeremy Chase, what's going on, Jeremy? Minus the ejection, I've been thrilled with Julius Randle's recent play, but are we really supposed to believe that late-night Yellowstone marathons were the problem? I didn't catch
story.
I didn't catch the interview, but I just saw it was about that he hasn't watched Netflix as much. He specified Yellowstone?
So what he said to Rebecca Harlow was that he's had to try and find times to rest. And one of the things he cut out was late night Netflix sessions. He loves the show Yellowstone, which it's a minor detail. Yellowstone's not on Netflix. It's on.
Yeah, I was about to say. I knew that.
What? It's on Apple. It's either on Apple TV or Paramount. That's what it is. So, like, it's a nitpick. But having said that, I tweeted it out when he got ejected. Start catching up on Yellowstone, Julius. You got some extra time tonight, you know.
Mark Sable, what's going on, Mark? Always good to hear from you, man. If Randle keeps playing like this and we're over 500, what's the over/under he's traded this season? What's a return you'd be happy with? Great question. Well, if he's playing like this, they're going to be over 500.
Mm-hmm.
Presuming no serious injuries. Knock on wood. Have some wood right here. What's the over/under in season? Basically, what you're asking is there a team that would make the Knicks an offer they couldn't refuse?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're playing well and they're over 500, so I think that would mean the vibes would be good. So it's not like we'd be getting like 2 teams that are underperforming, that are like shuffling the deck chairs and seeing how it works out. Like, it doesn't feel like you'd be getting that sort of a trade. So if you're not getting that sort of a trade, where's the team that is giving up the really good player in return for Randle? Which then leads me to the next thing, which is that basically you're talking about what team is giving up a pick package that the Knicks would find so appealing that they could not say no to. And that's tough, because if you're giving up that sort of pick package, you are a team that at least thinks that you, if some things break right, can make a conference finals. And looking at the league and looking at the teams that would even be remotely, possibly, realistically interested in this version of this player. I know I'm going on and on. I don't see the team that has the picks and that's given the picks other than
I'll put up the next super chat because it applies to this.
Delsky, what can that supposedly 3-team trade look like? Yeah, I don't like the Clippers have been mentioned as a Randle team, but like if the Clippers are going to do anything, they need Kawhi and Paul George to be healthy. And if Kawhi and Paul George are going to be healthy, then Randle's just not going to be that much of a factor. Like Marcus Morris arguably makes more sense for them on both ends of the court. So I don't know if I see that. They're not trading him to Dallas. Like the notion that Dallas is going to give up like 2 more first-round picks
not to the Knicks,
for another Knicks power forward is just like very funny to me.
This is probably for tomorrow night when you talk with
Jamie. Yeah, I do want to honor the question because it was a good question. Phoenix, I guess, would be the team.
Phoenix would be the team. But we might need to start thinking the other way. If they're playing good, they're over 500, and Randle's playing like this, does that even more heighten the probability of a trade for a guy?
Yeah, but that guy isn't going to be traded in season, and I know you're going to say Levine, and I
hope not. But that's the one we went through it on the Patreon the other day. It's so obvious, especially if the Bulls are about to pivot.
I'll say this. I went and looked because I poo-pooed the idea of the idea that an in-season trade is easy to, or I basically was like, it's very hard to pull off because of the poison pill. I went and looked at it. It's not as hard as you think. It's basically with RJ and Fournier as the base going, and with Levine as the base coming back. You could pretty easily come up with some deals where it's just a matter of like, what are the picks, and like are the Knicks sending another young player back or like whatever, and I don't want to talk about that because I don't want Zach Levine. Andrew, 100% agree. Stability and competency are key right now. Yeah, I think so too. I'm a fan of it. Greg Moran, thank you very much for the contribution, Greg. Late to the show. Thanks again for the Knicks for saving my Sunday. Might have cost all of New York football for the Knicks to be good again, but worth it for Grimes and Deuce. On-ball defense, winning is fun. Yeah, I did see the Giants score today. Yeah. And I watched a bit of, I don't know, maybe a third of the Jet game. It was not that entertaining.
I speak for yourself. It was breathtaking if you're a Jets fan because every player that you fell in love with this season went down. Quinn Williams out with a calf injury. Mike White thought he died twice.
Yeah.
And then Willis Reed his way to the
Romo,
fourth quarter.
I like the Romo comment.
Daniel LaRusso's going to fight. Yes. Well done, Tony Romo. Not annoying at all.
Sam Garcia's dad, don't look now, but the Knicks are developing an identity. Yes, they are. Damn right. And it's spelled with a capital D. So it's lowercase I, capital D, and then entity. And the happiest guy is the head coach. # Jeremy takes the L. I love that I have people that care about my success in this silly game. Yu Shenzhou, considering IQ will be extension eligible to end the season, will that affect if they start IQ? Do you think they extend IQ right away, and how much? See, now you're getting into conspiracy theory, John. I think what he wants on his next contract has absolutely played into, let's say, the situation that has developed. And like, would it be insane if like the organization as a whole were playing IQ as such to try to keep his value a little bit down to a more manageable number? And that is the reason why, as things were falling apart all around them at the end of last year, the dude never got a start. And would that potentially be the reason why those around him, his quote unquote handlers, might be being like, hey, fuck this. We want to get paid. And we're not getting paid as long as you use this player in this way. There's a lot of, I could see there being a lot of baggage there and stuff going on, which is why I am fascinated to see who gets the start if Brunson is out. Zmunger 23, average age of the closing unit, #young and
vetless.
Young and vetless. I was seeing the D with the V for some reason and not realizing that the D was part of the and. Yeah. Johnny Chiba, what's going on, Johnny? Who? Julius Randle, 27 first half points. Bonehead turnovers lead to opponents' points. Poor defense, shit-tude, ejected. Or RJ, 27 points, full line. Stocks, great nick-tude. RJ, start power forward. Okay, Deuce plus Grimes plus Quickley plus Randle plus Mitch.
He corrects this. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, he means RJ.
He means Julius Randle.
Yes, not Julius Randle. RJ is a winning combination. #KOC.
KOC?
Kevin O'Connor? I don't know.
Keep on chugging? I don't know.
I like keep on chugging.
Johnny, keep specify what you meant.
KOC, if you want to come on the pod, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, open invite.
Pluckster, as far as the defensive identity, Deuce, Emmanuel Quickley, and Grimes is a damn special backcourt. How do you get a G League guy like Deuce cooking in the big show? So I'm happy that they at least said out loud on the broadcast tonight that Deuce started 1 of 15 from deep on the season, and that's not ideal. Tonight, Quickley was 1 of 5 from deep and 2 of 6 overall. I did not love the decision that he made to take the 3 with like 16 seconds left on the shot clock with about 2 minutes to go. But other than that, he has to keep firing away. He has to keep shooting. And maybe with more time, the shot will come. We'll see. Requiem Gaming, I'm mad at Deuce for taking the fun out of Tankathon. #little brother vibes. Is it too early to look at the playoff ticket prices? No, man. Live for today.
Just don't put anything down on the playoff ticket prices is all I'd say.
Like, look at the East.
Look at them, yeah.
No, but like the East right now, the Knicks right now in terms of point differential. Like you have your top 3, Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland. Philly and Brooklyn are seeming to solidify themselves ish as like the fourth and fifth best teams in some order. Maybe Philly keeps going up. Maybe Cleveland falls back a little bit. We'll see. I gotta say, I think Brooklyn's here to stay.
I do too. Jacques Vaughn.
Yeah, like they make sense. They're just so talented. And there's no fires to put out right now. So like Brooklyn, they're here to stay. Philly, they'll be fine. And then in 6th, you got Atlanta, Indiana, New York, Toronto, Miami. I think those are going to be your 5 teams. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 5 of those teams, maybe not Indiana. Maybe Indiana keeps falling. But out of those, here's my point. Out of those 5 teams, the best net rating or best point differential on average is New York tied with the Raptors. Dom Cappuccini, keep Brunson healthy and we really back. Listening to Grimes, Deuce, and Quickley sneakers squeak is so angelic. #we back. I think I'm going to go with the we back. I like we back.
Jeremy, start the shirts. Let's go.
Robert Cross, first time, long time, John. IQ starts this week, and he'll have at least 1 triple-double. It's a bold move, Cotton. I'd like to reiterate, not trading IQ, never #53 wins.
I wonder what type of donation to the Garden of Dreams we would have to make in order to get Leon's first non-MSG interview to be on here with Robert Cross.
There's
the limit
there's
does
no
not
number.
exist. There's no number. Okay.
What is the Mean Girls?
The limit does not exist.
Yeah,
the limit does not exist. Yeah. Yeah. One
Thank
more
you.
from Robert Cross, and then we got 2 more, and we're out of here.
Okay. Robert, is it fair and reasonable to say I heard Levine rumor in the shower? I heard Levine rumor in the shower?
I know you easy.
I know you didn't mean to write hard, but you wrote hard and shower in the same sentence, Robert, you need to be more careful with your keyboard, sir. That is my advice to you. If so, no, and no. I don't want that. I don't want any more of you typing about anything hard in the shower. That's what I want. Got that right. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Robert.
No comment.
Kevin Danishevsky, it's right up there with the CLT.
Yes, with the Hornets uniform. I was off that night, and I heard it. I was like, oh, okay.
Listen, I didn't say it. Good job by me. Kevin Danishevsky, side note, funny the deli is still getting minutes. Yes, I didn't realize Matthew Dellavedova was a member of the Kings until tonight. I'll be honest about that.
Yeah, probably only played because Fox was out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Still.
Last one.
Charles Berg, let's fucking go Mets. Kiss my tax.
I think I've been watching baseball again, John.
I mean, I know how much I don't know the exact number of how much they spend. You probably do.
They spend, so their payroll with the luxury tax is up to $421 million. They've spent over $350 this offseason. Well, this week. They lost Jacob deGrom, and then if you add the Edwin Diaz contract, they've spent a lot of money. Which I know the critique. I actually think it is a fair critique that's out there that they just kind of ran it back because like Verlander replaces deGrom, Senga replaces Bassett, Quintana replaces Walker, Nimmo takes his own spot, Diaz takes his own spot. I need people to make that critique to understand that the Mets won 101 games last year, and you're telling a Mets fan they can do it again?
Yeah.
You know how often the Mets have won 100 games again in my life?
Fair. I was talking to a Yankee fan last night who was like, I'm afraid to say what I really think about the Judge deal because everybody's so raw. All my Yankee fans in my life are so rah-rah. And then he proceeded to go through his thought process about like the age and like how that particular player is going to age as a hitter, as a player, and all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think like, Mets really, I think the Mets got this right.
On what?
DeGrom and who they've gotten and the whole thing.
Everybody that's old is like short-term deals. The Nimmo thing is an 8-year deal, but it actually works out better because it lowers his average annual value.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a nice number, and
it's 160, so it's $20 million a year. Nobody over a certain, I think over 35 is making more than $20 million.
And you got the big guy waiting out there for next offseason.
Mm-hmm. And Ohtani.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Okay, enough. Man, you got me talking baseball. What the hell?
Look at you.
CT Pittman is going to close us out here. Are you and Jeremy recording a pod tonight? I need my Monday morning KFS fix. No, God, no. I have to write a newsletter, which I obviously have not started yet, and talk about getting caught up on the weekend. Thank you for the contribution, by the way, CT. Love you as always. Some friends in our building invited us down to watch the football match between England and France yesterday. So while I should have been writing about the Hornets game and clipping stuff from that game, I was instead downstairs enjoying some wonderful, I'll call it again, football.
Mm-hmm.
Save the right thing. And it was the first World Cup action I've watched this year for this tournament. And I got to tell you, that was fucking thrilling.
You waited until the final 8 to start watching the World Cup.
And the only reason I went down was because like these were our friends and they invited us down like, hey, we're all hanging out watching the game. I was like, sure, let's go down. And it was great.
I've watched a bunch, so I can't relate, but I'm glad you enjoyed the not soccer.
And I want to watch the what is it, semis on, I think it's what, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. It should be some good football.
Okay.
Here. Download the WynnBet app. Thank you to our friends at WynnBet, as always, for sponsoring the show. Visit www.wynnbet.com to start winning. Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet $100, win $100. Download, bet, win. Thank you, Andrew Claudio. You are the best. As always, a reminder, subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow us on social at Knicks Film School. That's SKOOL. And then also visit nickfilmschool.com, where you could find the hub of everything that we put out, which is a lot of stuff. So go visit that. And that is all she wrote. I will be back with Jeremy recording tomorrow night. That'll hit your airwaves on Tuesday. And then Jeremy has something special coming on Tuesday night.
We were announcing it tomorrow night.
Oh, we are?
Pod, yes.
I already said, no, I said something about Jeremy has something special coming on Tuesday
night.
Oh,
did you? So it's already been announced. Never mind.
Well, I don't think I said what it was.
Okay. Jeremy has an announcement on Tuesday morning's pod, and then you'll want to pay attention to the YouTube channel for that announcement.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and then basketball games, hopefully with Jalen Brunson. Okay, thanks everybody.
Oh, hold on, Sean. What is the Sean's hitting us up in the chat? The betting and sweating update. So I totally forgot we have to do that in order to finalize the night. So give me 1 second.
Oh yes, okay.
So betting and sweating for tonight. I'm riding this Randle hot streak because I'm just gonna take Julius Randle offensive props for the foreseeable future. Mine was 3 threes. He hit it in the second quarter.
He finished 3 for 10, by the way.
He 3 for 11 to be exact,
11,
but he just needed the 3 is the point. First quarter spread, the Knicks is what. So let me say that in correct English. Sean took the Knicks first quarter spread, which was -1, so they won that.
Good job. Easily.
What did Quentin Grimes finish with?
Quentin Grimes finished with 7 points.
7 points, 3 assists. So Mensah misses. So Mensah took 13 points in assists for Quentin Grimes. So he misses that. And then XJ off your game tonight. He took the Kings money line. He thought the offense, even without De'Aaron Fox, would still flourish. And he wanted the Knicks defense to prove it was real. And guess what? Tonight they proved it was a little bit real. So
I think let's end on that note. I think this is real. Let's see what happens if they don't have Brunson. Let's see what happens in Chicago, a team that got, again, really, really, really brutal loss tonight. We'll see how they respond. I think it's okay to be excited about Knicks basketball again.
We can't end. One more just came in. Thank you, everybody. You're amazing.
Abdoulaye Diallo. I know we are too good for Wemby, but I see this team drafting a blue chipper like Imani Bates from Michigan, speaking it into existence. Listen, at some point, if this front office wants to make good on their approach, they do have to hit on someone in the draft, even more so than they have hit already. And I say that as you guys know how big of a Quentin Grimes fan I am. I'm obviously a big Emmanuel Quickley fan. I still think Obi in the right situation could be really good. Love and Deuce, they gotta hit in a bigger way, I think, for them to really, for this plan that they have to come to fruition in the way they want it to come to fruition. So we'll see. Thank you for closing us out with that comment. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will talk to you soon. Peace out.